Here on this beautiful Sunday morning. It is a beautiful day here today. I'm glad to see everybody here. The ones that show us our picture, other ones I understand probably just woke up and rolled out. That's okay. We're glad you're here. As we've said before, we are an open-minded, inclusive community that ultimately believe that love is at the core of all, and that we are one in our own individual expression. So we are love. We are all love within this large container of love, kind of like a drop of water is a drop in the large container of the ocean. We are here to learn, explore, create, share our unique talents or gifts, and enable all human beings the basic necessities of a safe place to live, adequate food and water, nutrition, clothing, and food. And I believe that every human being has the right to have the basic needs that we need to live as a human being. And that we are here to learn, to create, to explore, to just enjoy and experiment in this playhouse of the world that we live in. And that time together should be to share our individual resources, our ideas, our thoughts, and our hugs. You know what? I believe that we all come in here with our own unique gift, whatever that is, and we're here to, it'll come to us. We don't have to find it. It will come to us. I think it comes to people, the person that says, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor. There's something in that's saying or moving us in directions, and those directions may vary in life. It doesn't mean for our whole life we have to be anything. We can be it and change it if we want to. That's really the fun of it. Unfortunately, we have to have rules and guides to how to be, but unfortunately we live in a construct that doesn't express this enough about that truth of who we are as people. We're all in structures and do and no time to think, no time to breathe, and wonder why everybody's out of their mind in the whole world on top of it. But it's kind of why I wanted to talk about that today. But as I was writing this, it says we're supposed to come together and share our ideas and our thoughts, and they're all going to be different because we're all a little bit different. We're all going to have a little bit of a different take on it. And I remember when we used to do a process it was a consensus process where everybody shares their ideas, and then we kind of come to a consensus, or you allow a sort of a group conscience to manifest the answers to whatever. And I've been involved in these kind of processes, and it works very nicely. When I came on this part about hugs, I like that because I like hugs. I need hugs. And that is the one thing in a day that if I don't get out of the house or at least talk to somebody, but getting a hug is crucial, even just to get that hug does something. And I thought, what is that? What does that do? So I wanted to share a little science on hugs with you today. I am a biology major, and so the physiology of things is always fascinating to me. Any stimulus and the effect that it has on a human being. So it could be a hug, it could be getting yelled at, being appreciated. These all have unique physiological and biological responses to our system. What we say, what we think, has an effect on our biological system. And, our biological system wants to work just right. It's just amazing if you think about it, how my body, it'll breathe, it'll do just what it needs to do. When it gets hungry, it'll want to eat, and when it has to go to the bathroom, it does. I mean, it works. And I think that if we allow it to work more, we would get more use out of it instead of forcing it to do things beyond its ability to do. So the hug, if you just type into Google benefits of a hug, you'll get a million articles. But this was an article from Penn Medicine titled, Can you kiss and hug your way to better health? January 8th, 2018. And it is said it has been shown to produce similar results also when hugging or cuddling your pets. Just want to share that. So thank God I have one guy who lets me hug him real good. So um what happens is when we hug or we cuddle, our bodies produce the chemical oxytocin. And oxytocin is it's that what gives us that warm kind of feeling, that feeling of connectedness to other people, that bond and that trust. That's what that chemical actually does in our human beingness. It also lowers blood pressure, reduces heart disease, inflammation, and cortisol. This is only touch that you want. We're not talking about touch that you don't want, but touch that you do. Touch that you don't want would raise your cortisol levels. And that cortisol would cause your body to go into a fight or flight mode. It would take your ability to think rationally away and put you into that mode. So it's fascinating. It's the whole thing. This whole life thing is pretty interesting. So I think let me just take a minute to absorb that and that reality. And as we learn those things that support ourselves as humans, we want to put them into our lives, incorporate them into our lives, because we do have the power. Let's get to so this all was making me wonder what the effect of the COVID isolation has had on all of us. Just because it's gone and we've basically taken the masks off, and acting like everything's okay and whatever. But what effect that has had that we've lived these couple years in isolation without touch, and depending on people, the fear of touch. Wow, the fear of touch. So we become afraid to do that which is so inherently needed. And I think of our culture as a whole, as I've watched this happen. So I'll just give you my own personal story. When I started working at UPMC back in 1996 and 97, the group of people I worked with, when we got to work in the morning, we hugged each other. And people tease us like that. You see that crazy group in there, they're all hugging each other, but that was the vibe there. And it was awesome. And over the years, over the 20 years, I could just see it changing, and the newer people coming in and the more standoffish and the more to where like nobody does, but and that has a lot to do with everybody's claiming whatever, their abuse stuff. But it's unfortunate because these are important qualities and in being human beings. It's funny, I was thinking how we've learned we can shop, we can eat. We have DoorDash, Instacart. If you want to date, you can scroll and get one of those too, I guess, if you want. Yeah, it's really become a different world that we live in. And I think a lot of us are, we're still very much from the era that we came from. And kind of funny when we become the older ones, you remember when you're little and the old people, and now we're the old people and they're the littles. And yeah, it's interesting what these effects have been. And as I was thinking about that, and a lot of you people know I've talked about it before, but that I'm anxiously waiting the construction and programming of my own robotic personal assistant. I haven't ordered it yet, but it's coming. I know it's coming. We have one at work. I wish I had a video of that one. She carries medicine around, and her eyes blink, and she walks, and goes wherever. And if you're in her way, she stops and she looks. If you look at her, her eyes make hearts and they blink like that. That's at work. That's the medicine one. Don't be scared. Just we got to roll with it. We can't let our fear get in the way. So anyway, it's been an eclectic and fascinating year for me, challenging and painful, joyful and delightful, sudden changes that made my head spin. And so I'd sit and cry and breathe. And then a couple minutes of tears, and I allow the feelings and emotions to move through me and release themselves in a few minutes. And then I'd feel a sense of calm and refresh and continue on with the business of the moment. We're all here with our own individual challenges and obstacles that we have to deal with, along with all of the collective challenges and obstacles that, we're experiencing today. And it seems like as solutions begin to evolve and we move into that new reality, then something else happens. Things are moving very fast right now. And sometimes it can be difficult to catch your breath. And so I would just like to share what I do for myself. When my head is just spinning and I feel like there's so many different things, is I just have to sit down and pause. Just have to sit down and pause and take a few minutes and breathe. And in that quietness, begin to prioritize what's the most important thing I have to do today. What is the absolute one or two? And when I write it down, it never seems to be as much as there is as it's in my head. I don't know why that list feels a lot longer in my head, but just to clarify that, just to kind of settle back, ground myself back into my space, knowing that I have the power. But I lose my power if I'm too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. I learned that acronym HALT a long time ago. Power seems to diminish, and I need to sleep or meditate. We recharge. We're like batteries. I realized that the first time I saw open heart surgery, when I went in there and I saw, and they stop the heart and they work on it, and then he started back up again. And I thought, wow, we're just like a car. We go in the garage, they turn it off, fix it up, give it a little jump start, and here we go again. It's fun. So this kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk about, this power that we have and the power that exists. And what the most important thing about that power is that you believe in the power. You have to believe that there's power, because it's the belief, ultimately. And we see this in many stories. One in particular I'll mention in the Bible, when the woman wanted to touch Jesus's cloak. And she believed that if she did that, she would be healed. That's why she was healed, because she believed she could. When there were many people that were waiting for Jesus to come through, they were waiting for their healings, and they were there because they believed they would be healed, and they were. We see it in children's book, the little train that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. I know I can. I know and it's true. And there's so much more written about it now. There's a much better understanding of this whole idea than we've ever had before. And it's not. I'm going to come up with a good analogy. I don't have one right now. It's not like the power. It's about knowing how to use what's available to you in a healthy way, in this world. And anything to an excess is not good. I mean, we have fire for good and for bad. We have water for good and for bad, all of it. We can get freaked out about AI and whatever, or we can utilize it and do right by whatever it is. my hope is that people begin to understand this, is that it's not all or nothing, that it's somewhere in between, and also to realize that we need each other, to share. I mean, I only know what I know, and I'm only going to know more if I talk to one of you. I'm going to know something different than what I know, and that's how I learned other things. That's how we all learn other things, and I would love to see that. That would be my vision of a world that works for everyone. So I do know, though, that what I can do is try to implement that within myself, as we as individuals continue to try to implement that, because we're human too. And again, if I get too hungry, angry, lonely, tired, overwhelmed, too many thoughts, blah, 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 my ability to connect and go the right way gets a little crooked. So it's, important for us to recognize what our limits are as human beings in this world. And to be grateful too. Let me just say that grateful thing. It is November, our Thanksgiving is coming up, and but we should be grateful every day. Every day I try to, at some point it just kind of comes to me, and I'll just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for whatever, just for life, and these basic principles of gratitude, asking and receiving and believing, they're all so simple, but they can feel and be very complex at times too. So today, I would just like to offer you time to take the time to look around and experience the world around you today. Take a look up into the sky and those clouds that are rolling by. Imagine the clouds are like thoughts. They kind of come and they go, they come and they go. But I notice every day that God paints a new picture up there. Every single day there is a new painting out there. I hope you get to look at it sometime today. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like
more.
your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it. Not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows with no credit to take, cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does you just smile cause now you know. I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, Whatever flies will fly. Whatever fails will fail. What's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow.
When it grows, it grows.
Whatever dies will
And when it dies, it dies. Come on. If it works, it works.
Whatever flies will
Let it fly, let it
Whatever
fly.
fails will
When
fail.
it fails, it
What's meant
fails.
to soar will soar.
when it soars, it soars.
I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow.
Let it grow, let it
Whatever
grow.
dies will
If it dies, it dies.
Whatever works will
When it works, it works.
Whatever flies
Yeah,
will
let it fly, let it
Whatever
fly.
fails will fail.
Fails, it fails.
To soar will soar.
Let it soar.
I am planting seeds
And nothing more.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Joyce and Reverend Mary Ann. Thank you for this wonderful service this morning. And now it's time for our moment of silence, where we go within and we experience the divine within, and then we share that with the world. And so if you'll gently close your eyes, if that is comfortable. Put a smile on your face, connecting that smile with your heart, the happiness that lies within your heart. And move your attention inward to your heart space. Feeling the joy that is always available to be tapped into. And tap into it right now. And as you breathe in and you breathe out, allow that joy, that love, that light to expand out to every cell of your body. With the knowing that everything you need is provided there. It's accessible right there, right here, right now. And as this joy spreads throughout your body, expand it out into your energy field. Expand it out to everyone on this call. Knowing that we are one with all of humanity. Spread this joy out to all of your relatives. Everyone, everywhere. And now spread this joy, this love, this light to Mother Earth. In gratitude for all that she provides. And as we experience this joy, we know that as we send it, it is received by everyone, everywhere, without exception. For this, we say thank you. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Bonnie. Sorry, I